What's going on, fellow Maplers? Chaos Papulatus, also known as CPap, was recently made much more forgiving, and this guide will help you get your first clear, as well as much earlier clears across any of your characters. Let's start out with the requirements. The base requirements are level 190, and I've completed the Papulatus questline in Ludibrium, started by accepting the quest Papulatus, the Light of Chaos from the quest UI. Since damage is based on too many variables, I would recommend benchmarking against other bosses in the boss UI to see if you are ready. As a general rule of thumb, you should be comfortably clearing the prior tier of bosses in order to struggle through the next tier. In this case, if you can clear 4-door CRA, you are likely ready to struggle through Chaos Papulatus. But the best way to determine if you're ready is to just try the boss. It's really not as hard as you might think. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the boss mechanics. This is an old boss, so to start the fight you need to drop Cracked Dimensional Piece from your Etc. tab below the missing tile on the platform to the right of the center. Most of CPap's attacks are environmental and deal large percentage-based damage. To make the fight as easy as possible, I recommend standing on the platform next to the one where you drop the Cracked Dimensional Piece. This is for two reasons. The first is that there are no claws here and the platform next to it. The second is that one of the two lasers you need to block spawns here. This will make more sense as I explain the various attacks. There are 4 main mechanics you need to know in the first phase, and I'll go through them in terms of priority. The most important mechanic is an insta-kill attack. 2 lasers will spawn on either side of the map and will spin at varying speeds. If they touch each other, the map will explode, killing you. To stop this from happening, you need to stand in front of one of the lasers to block it. If this is not possible and the lasers touch, you can use skills with invulnerability frames to avoid the KO. This is pretty simple to do, but made more challenging by 2 other mechanics that'll occur. The second mechanic you need to know is the clock bombs that spawn on the floor. These will appear, then blow up a couple seconds later, damaging you if you stand above it. You can tank up to 1 of these at a time, 2 if you immediately use a potion. Your priority is to block the laser, so feel free to eat the damage on one of these if you need to. Dodge them by walking along the floor to spots that are clear of bombs. However, you may run into the third mechanic you need to know. Sometimes you will be unable to stand on the floor. Text will appear indicating the floors will be dangerous. Simply stand on the platforms above and move between them to dodge the other attacks when this happens. Finally, and this is low priority, but CPap may place a timer above his head and yours. Minions around the map will drop 2x and divided by 2 items, which will change the timer above your head. The difference in CPap's time and your time is how long he will lock your skills for when the timer runs out. If you're kind of nervous about moving around a bunch, just focus on avoiding attacks if this happens. You can just jump between the 2 platforms same as before, but just without your boost skills. So those 4 mechanics are what will kill you, but there's a special mechanic in CPap. Once he gets below 20% HP, he will become invulnerable and the clock in the center of the room will appear with various values listed. You need to clear the sections off the board by hitting the up arrow when standing on the portal to the left of the clock. To get the hands to change positions, kill minions and pick up the timers they drop. This will move the hands of the clock according to the time picked up. Prioritize clearing high values, as the total value will be restored to CPap at the end of the timer. It's really not hard to clear every single tile before the timer though. Once you clear CPap's HP, Phase 2 will start. Phase 2 is almost exactly the same as Phase 1, but CPap will fly around the screen. Just do the same exact things as Phase 1, the only mechanic you kind of need to know is he will split into several copies of himself. Just clear them all quickly and you won't need to worry about it. And that's pretty much it. Outside of this, there's one attack where CPap will start dropping projectiles from the sky and damage you over time. But it's pretty much a free DPS phase, just avoid the projectiles while you attack. Once you clear CPap, you now have a chance to get the Papulatus mark, which is the first eye accessory that you can get above 20 Star Force. Also, you get that juicy boss crystal for additional mesos. When this video helps you press snooze on this glorified alarm clock, like and subscribe.